Hello, it's May 19th. My name is Anthony. I work for DJ Solutions. I work at home opportunity. Um, Today I am doing a review on a netbook. This is the Acer Aspire 1 D150. Um, I just want to let people know what this really can and can't really do. I'm not going to do an unboxing or go over all the detailed specifications of it and all that. I figure there's enough YouTube videos on here to knock that all out for you. I didn't want to bore you with another. This is what my netbook looks like video. It looks like the rest of them. All right, and just to get the basics down. Yes, this one does have this is the 10.1-inch screen version. It has the 160 gig hard drive, turning at 5400 RPMs. It has 1 GB of RAM installed. It's got 3 USB ports, an Ethernet, of course, obviously wireless built in. But what I wanted to do is discuss the differences between what this one has that some of them may not have, and kind of guide you in the direction of what you may or may not need. I'm not going to unbox one or nothing. I just bought this thing 3 days ago. I've been playing around with it before I did this video. Just, it comes in multiple colors, as you can see here. The reason I bought this one versus the Mini out there, because there's several, is for the following. One, this one does have separate audio headphone plug and a separate microphone plug. I don't want to dog any particular one, but HP does not have that. Another thing too, this one does have 160 gigs of hard drive on the netbook, where HP only has a 60 gig hard drive. The keyboard size on this, which is a big deal on netbooks, that's a big criteria, that and the touchpads. I don't like the touchpad on any of them, but I use an external mouse anyway, so to me that's not that relevant. But the keyboard size is very relevant to me. The keyboard on this is, considering the device is half the size of most standard laptops, I was very impressed with it. It works just fine. It comes in around 91% of the standard keyboard size, where the HP does come in around 93%. So if 2% is that big a deal, then go for it. However, as far as functionality, which is what it all comes down to, and what can and can't I do with this machine? One, this does have a VGA where the HP does not. So if you anticipate plugging your new netbook up to your new television to give you a bigger screen, it ain't going to happen on the HP. Don't even think about it. It ain't going to happen. Unless you want to spend $80 on their plug. Every time you do that, you could buy a regular laptop. But the netbook does, the Acer 1 D150 does have the VGA on board, which to me was a great. Plus, the bigger the hard drive, the better. And now on the Acer Aspire 1, there's a couple of videos on YouTube you've seen on the Acer Aspires. They're not really specifying the models, but there's one on here that's really creepy. You got to take this whole thing apart just to upgrade the memory. Okay, that might be so on the older one. However, on the newer one, which I've had this in for 3 days, I got this on May 16th. It took me 10 minutes to open the packaging on the new memory, putting it in, and booting this thing up all together. 10 minutes. That was all. That was from start to finish. The newer one does have a latch on the bottom now where you can upgrade a memory like a traditional laptop. Amen to that. So that makes a huge difference. I highly suggest getting a 2 gig stick to put in here. They're about $20 on Newegg. I shop from them quite a bit. But you can get them other places as well as Crucial.com. But for the price difference between the HP versus the Acer Aspire 1 D150, there's $40 difference between the base units. So for that $40 will buy you the case and the memory upgrade for your Aspire. You have about the same amount of money, might be $2 or $3 difference, but you'd have a 2 gig Acer Aspire 1 in a case to carry all your stuff with. Where HP you have to spend that money again. So to me is, to buy the memory upgrade for like $22, I think it was $22 and some change. I got the Crucial brand, so I thought it'd be really good stuff. And 2 gigs of memory, and this amazing difference in performance. The more memory, the better on any operating system, but particularly on your netbooks, which was kind of geared toward being deprived. But you flop down 2 gigs in there, and she does do a lot better. Now, Acer on their website says that it can't be upgraded, or they don't want to talk about it anyway. However, they can. It's very easy to upgrade. I don't think they say anything because they got some contingency with Microsoft. Lord knows we all bow to Microsoft, but in general, it's easy to upgrade. Separate audio and headphone port, or microphone headphones are separate. It does have VGA, so you can hook up to your big TV. Works great. The resolution's 1024 by 600 on a 10.1 screen. Not high def, but for such a small screen, it's very crisp. Anytime you take and make a screen smaller, it's going to appear better than it probably is, but no problems. Another issue that's not been addressed on YouTube as far as I can tell is iTunes. Can I run iTunes on the netbook? Yes. For all you who are emailing me and asking me that, yes, you can. Download iTunes from apple.com. Maybe download the Safari browser while you're at it. That'd be a suggestion to give you another option because the new Internet Explorer kind of sucks. But yes, you can run iTunes on this. I plug in a 500 gig Seagate external hard drive into this via USB, and iTunes works just fine on it. Watching movies, not just the music, plays just fine. I didn't see no flutter in it or nothing. It's just fine. The downside to netbooks is the mouses that are a little small on them, the trackpad. So if you look for a great performing trackpad, none of the netbooks out there are offering that. I've played around with several of them, and in the end, I ended up buying this Acer Spire 1. It just seemed to weigh out better in the end for me. If you're looking for elegance and look, go with HP. If you're looking for an elegant, but I'm looking for functionality. If you look for functionality and more bang for your buck, you can't beat this Acer Spire. And if you do these statistics and go on netbook sales, you will see that Acer Spire is #1 in netbook sales at this time. Now that was as of today. This morning I pulled it up and checked it. So I'm not blowing you full of smoke or anything. The Acer Spire is doing real well for a reason. Which all of them are doing pretty good, don't get me wrong, but the Acer seems to really hit the market well with this one. They've sold around 30 million of these this quarter. So that's some numbers. I bet Mac wished I could sell that many laptops in a year. But anyway, we won't go into Macs. Great machine, great functionality, and it's not a real big gaming machine. So if you're thinking about buying one of these to play Halo or something like that, I've seen a video where you can play Halo on it. You probably can, but it's going to be real slow because the frame rates are kind of bad on a netbook because it's got an onboard video, not a dedicated. But if you put in 2 gigs of RAM in this thing, there's a huge difference. But besides upgrading the RAM, let's just assume that you go with the 1 gig it comes with it. You can go to www.gog.com, and that's going to be games, good old games, what this will stand for. And it's games from back in the past that were real popular at one time that didn't require a lot of spec, a video card. They play just fine on the netbook. You know, you done bought the netbook, you might as well get all you can get out of it, you know. If you're into some of the older games and you like them, you can do it on here. You ain't gonna have a $1,600 or a $2,000 laptop to play some of the games from the past. As long as the games are about 4 or 5 years old, it's pretty safe to say they'll run sufficiently on a netbook, from my experience. So from GOG.com, I've downloaded about 15 games off of there onto my netbook, and they all play just fine. For a device that costs under $400 to be able to do all that, I'm tickled. And it plays my iTunes. Now, some comparison, this versus a regular laptop. Yes, a laptop, a normal one, with a dedicated video card will do more than a netbook. That's a given. That's why you paid more for it. However, this will outbeat any battery life on any laptop I have seen yet. And trust me, I go through a laptop pretty often. I'm real big on technology. So, like I'm doing this video on a HP's big gamer computer. It's a great machine, as long as I got an outlet everywhere I go. But on this machine, running iTunes and checking email and basic things that most people are going to use a netbook for, I got 5.5 hours out of the 6-cell battery, which to me is almost 3 times better than my big $1,600 laptop. So that said a lot. Can you play games on it? Yeah, they play just fine. iTunes plays just fine on here. I would know. I'm a huge iTunes user. I use it a lot. But no one on YouTube has addressed this issue that I could find, unless it's on page 500 of this. But from the few reviews I've seen, no one's actually gotten some detail about what you can and can't do with these things. GOG games are just fine. They're downloadable. They're DRM free, might I add. You can download to your regular laptop as well to really get your money worth. And they're cheap. They're $5 to $10 a game. Download, don't have a CD. And yes, you can hook an optic drive up this via USB. That's a separate purchase, of course. But most printers out there and hardware now, you can go to the website, the manufacturer's website, and download the drivers and software required to run it. So you don't have to use optic drive most of the time. But for the money, the Acer Spire D150, the newer one, is a great machine, and I highly recommend it. If you have any questions, email me at djsolutions@charter.net.